when we're not convenient, because otherwise Chris would normally be over in Cincinnati, and so we're
Yeah.
glad that he can join us. So, Chris, today, as part of our question and answer, I'm posing the question. Give me an update on how our life groups are operating this summer, and maybe even from our kind of the COVID-19 situation of where we are at the church.
All right. So let's first start with the church. At church, we've had one life group meet on campus thus far. It's kind of our dry run to see how that would work. It worked just fine. And so one thing that we're going to run into at this point is perhaps some location availability. So we're going to work through those issues. But next week, we'll have a second life group meeting on campus. So we'll have two on campus. The one thing to know about that is if when we start to get into life groups on campus, where you meet is where you will need to make reservations. So if your life group normally meets upstairs on the second floor, then you will need to make reservations for the sanctuary. If your life group meets down on the first floor, you'll need to make reservations for the fellowship hall. That's just for ease of people flow through the church, kind of minimizing going up and down in the stairwells or even needing to have access to the elevator. So we're excited about that. I think the life groups are excited that they can get together. I shouldn't say I think. I know the life groups are excited that they're going to get to meet together again on Sunday. So that's awesome that we're able to do that. And so at this time we have two. We're going to see how that goes, and then we have to work on arrangements and meet with the leaders of the other life groups to see how we roll out the other on-campus life group meetings. So that's awesome to have, because that's, again, it opened up last week and it worked really well. And so today we're just going to keep plotting along and see and open up as we can. So as for our off-campus, I think the summertime provides the same opportunity, and perhaps even greater this summer than we've had in the past. Generally during the summer, just the natural flow of life is summertime off from life group. From official, we're going to meet every week, to more of a laid back, when can we meet? How can we engage our community? How can we gather and really impact our community during the summertime when people are out and about? During this time with COVID, people may or may not be out as much in my neighborhood. I will say this: in my neighborhood, people are outside. People are walking dogs. People are walking their pushing strollers. There's a lot of people walking through our neighborhood. So it's really a good time during the summertime when the weather's nice, as a life group or individually, to get out and meet your neighbors. And I know that for us, we've had many conversations with neighbors that walk by. We've had conversations with neighbors who just where we live, they know that we're here. And so when our kids are out playing, they know that they see our children out. So this is a great time in the summer, even though we're not meeting as, hey, let's have an official life group each week. But there are opportunities for us as life groups to get together, and opportunities for us each to engage our community in our neighborhoods just individually. I will say, as a life group, if you want to do something, we just had our yard sale last weekend. People want to get out, and people are getting out. So if there are things that you can hold, we gave out lemonade, and we did lemonade coronavirus style. We had water bottle and lemonade powder packets that Hannah and Kinley sold at our yard sale. So if your neighborhood or community is going to have a yard sale, perhaps if you don't have anything to sell, that's a perfect opportunity to just maybe put out a lemonade stand. I think someone else around the corner was having a popsicle stand. So there's just opportunities to engage our community in the way that they're out right now. And
you didn't tell me about this popsicle stand. I feel cheated out of my.
I didn't know where the popsicle stand was. I just heard rumor of it around the corner. So, and we didn't want to publicize the popsicle stand because that was going to take away from the lemonade. So we wanted to make sure.
Very good. Yeah, no, that was wise. That was very wise marketing.
Advertising lemonade. But I really think as a life group, particularly if you're going to have, if you have children in your life group, to have kids that they can kind of get together, that also is helpful for our children. That's been, in fact, Rhonda and the girls are out right now with some church family, just having a time together. And so that's a really good time to get the kids together, because I know a lot of kids have been separated from school. And so the summertime, people are out and about. We want to do it wisely. We want to do it safely, no doubt. But I do believe that this is a really good time, as it has been in past summers, just going to be a little different, but a good time to meet our neighbors, meet our community, and also particularly when people are worried, and the news will tell us that there's spikes and there rises, but we hold steady. We have a solid foundation in Christ, and that's where we hold steady. So we don't need to waver. We don't need to rise and fall with the tide, but we can hold steady. And I think that's something we need to communicate to our neighbors in our community. So this is a perfect time to do it in the midst of the storm. At the same time, the storm's happening when there's beautiful weather outside. So if you're out and about, even if you're going for a walk, we've ridden our bikes up into our neighborhood quite a bit. So this is a good time to get out. And it seems it's not, but it really is a good time to meet our neighbors, and really with the opportunity to turn our conversations into spiritual conversations. I think you will also find, as we have found, many of our neighbors will talk about going to church, or being of a particular faith. And so this is a great time to talk to them about that, because many may be members of a particular denomination, but not actually attending church. And so as our church is still online, we still have the online service. We're meeting in person. I think I mentioned earlier this week, we had 2 guests this past Sunday in person. So this is still a good time. I just told Roy up the street, I told him during COVID, I said, when we open up, I'm gonna let you know so you can get out to our service. So I just let him know we're in person, so he can come and visit. So invite, engage your community, your neighbors, because right now we have a great need for that. I think people have been bound up in their homes, and they're in need of community, and we can offer that. We can offer them community in Christ, and there's no greater community to belong to. So yeah, that's what's going on with Life Group. I think our life groups have in the past historically done really well with engaging our community. So I pray that we do the same thing now, particularly in the midst of this. So
absolutely. Well, I would say that just to reiterate, just to encourage that same point, is people are wanting connection, and this is a great opportunity right now. Our 20 invites in 2020, those invites to church right now, people are hungry to do something. And so help them get their reservations or help them come. What a great opportunity for them right now. But like you said, we're not into swapping sheep or trying to get people from other churches. We want people who are disconnected from churches and not going to church or unsaved to get to Christ, but also to our church. And so this is a great time to do that. People are hungry for that. As for life groups, what are kind of the boundaries, or what's the good safety things to consider this summer as we go forward? I think what are we at in homes? Is the limits lifted in homes, or is it still 10, or where are we at on that? Do you know?
I think we may be at 50 now. But what I would say is I just watched a report from my company that I work for. And one of the things that he mentioned as he talks about us being safe at work was keeping our contacts close and keeping our contacts, those that we know near and dear close to us, primarily because what we want to be able to do is, if we do, one of the big concerns now is the engagements for long periods of time together. Well, I engage with people for long periods of time that are close to me, and I know how they are doing and they know how I am doing. So if something does arise, we can respond. As I engage with my neighbors, I'm generally not with them for 30 or 40 minutes in an enclosed environment where we see this having a real hazard, I think, or concern, I think, that may be brought up. So I think right now, as we engage our community, and I spoke with a lady this past weekend, Miss Kayla, and she was interested in church, and so we invited her once to the virtual service, and she said she would look at that this past Sunday. And I think the follow up to that is, hey, did you enjoy that? Would you like to visit our in-person service? So I think as we get people in our homes or in our community near us, the thing for us to keep in mind is, hey, how are we doing after those engagements? And we can keep an eye on that. But I think our numbers in our homes the numbers I think they're saying gathering have increased. I think to 50 at this point in time. But I think it's just like you're safe at work, because they did not give us much clarity on even on our yard sale most recently. But I think we safe.
So maybe a good word of wisdom would be talk to your life group, see what each family and each person is comfortable with. Also kind of agree on where y'all might do this. Maybe outside is the best place to do this, even still right now, if you'd like to do that. Again, this is a good way for you to, like you said, see the people in the neighborhood, or meet at a park or somewhere. And I guess from the church's perspective, just, try to socially distance as best as possible, and um, take those individual cases, how you as a life group might want to meet during the summer. Also consider some of these ideas that Chris said about being intentionally missional this summer. And this is a good opportunity for you to think through that. I do want to try, I'm going to try something. We'll see if this works. I wanted to show, let's see if I have it. Let's see. Let's see if this works. All right. Can you see that? Are you seeing the God's Plandemic Bible
Yes.
School? Okay, yeah. So I just thought this is a good time to plug this, that this is an opportunity to tell your neighbors or whoever that this is going on. It's going to be a VBS at home. And I know that Carrie and others are getting ready for that. And there's a way to get information about that on our Hebron Baptist Facebook page. And I believe, as she has said, I want to make sure that it would be good to be get the emails. There's some ways that you can text VBS to this number, right? Text VBS to 859-209-6191 so that we can get you on that list to get information. And so that's something that's going on. So maybe you can speak to people who are in your neighborhood and share that on your social media sites and so forth, and encourage them to be a part of that. And so that's one thing I encourage you to do. Maybe even doing something as what Chris was talking about, where he was saying, the lemonade stand or ice cream stand, whatever, just to get your neighbors out there. You could do it as a life group, just hang out, take turns handing this stuff out to people, let them know that regularly a Bible study meets in your neighborhood, and if they would like to be a part of that. So you can mix a time of fellowship and intentional missional stuff this summer, and we hope that you'll do that, especially for in-home or on-campus groups. Both of y'all can do that. You can. We've talked about the on-campus groups being groups that can do these things too, and invite them on campus. So these are all great things that we can do, and hopefully that's something that we can encourage more and more as this summer goes by. And so we hope that you can do that. Any other just final summer things or anything about life groups that you want to say?
No, just one last thing. I know what we communicate to the life group leaders, and I think it's wise, because I said 50. Please don't put 50 in your home. It'd be quite a crowd. But we did communicate to the leaders, and fellowship as you feel comfortable. The same conscience that we want people to follow as if they come to church or they don't come to in-person service. We want you to have that same freedom to do that now. So we really want you to think through that. If you're uncomfortable doing that, coming together, then we appreciate that, and we love you, and we want you to follow your conscience how it leads you. So that's really been the encouragement to the life group leaders, is meet and fellowship as you see comfortable and as you see fitting throughout this summertime.
That's great. Well, let me just remind everyone something actually that I know KC and our reservations team would like help on. I'm going to give you, those of you who would like to join us in person, we would like for you to make reservations. They're live now. We had a little bit of a delay this morning, but we've got them live now. But if you would like to join us in person, we had 101 this past Sunday. And so more and more people will be joining us. Just to help out our reservations team, we encourage you that you bring either digitally on your phone or a printed copy of your ticket. Just, show that. You can show it on your phone, have it ready as you get out of the car, paperwork, because gratefully, we're in a place where more and more people are feeling comfortable to come. And so it is slowing down that people coming in. And so this past week, again, each week we're all learning. And so with more people, we had guests that hadn't had any reservations. So it's going to take a little more time to get through. And so if they have to stop and look up your seats every week, that just slows somebody else from getting in. And so if you could just help us out by that, that would be great. Really, all you have to do is even show it on your phone, or have it know where your seats are, and your or a printed ticket. Either way would work. But if you want to get reservations and weren't on our list, email reservations@hebronbaptist.org, reservations@hebronbaptist.org. Also, that email will answer all the needs that you might have, even up to that day. Let's say you say, hey, is there space available? We would actually prefer you to reserve if you know early in the week. But let's just say somebody, you didn't know if you were going to make it, you thought your travel plans fell through or something like that. Just email reservations, let them know that you might be coming that morning. Or if the other happens, you have a child wakes up sick or you have a temperature, we want to follow guidelines on that and not show up around people. So just email reservations, say, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it today. Anyways, a link has been set out this morning. They will go public on Friday at 9 a.m. And so if you'd like to join us, we hope that you can. And we are excited that our on-campus groups are already starting to meet. We're excited about what God's going to do through our off-campus groups this summer. We hope to have some information about children maybe in the next month, that they might be able to have some of their activities. And just to be honest, I mean, it's another new hurdle for us. Everything has been a new hurdle. And so with both trying to balance volunteers and space and all the things that we have to go through, this has been a hard transition, I know, for families. And so, but hey, I've had my 2-year-old in worship the last few weeks, and we've had many different ages included. And so the Lord is using that still, and we're worshiping together. And so we hope to see you on Sunday.
Yes.
And I'm so thankful for Chris. Chris, thank you for joining me today and on Monday. And we hope to have both you and Rhonda here soon to talk more about what God's doing through your lives, through the International Mission Board and your missionary calling and assignment. And so we'll be talking to both of you all soon about that.
Yeah, cool. Look forward to it.
Well, you have a great day, Chris. Everyone else, thank you for joining us, and God bless you. Have a great week.
All right. See you.